Ladies and gentlemen, I honestly thought that I didn't have anything else to do for you guys for the channel for today. And lo and behold, we are blessed with one more chapter to react to. And it is the 100th chapter of Dragon Ball Super. Will we finally see the end of the superhero arc so we can move on to the rest of Dragon Ball? That's the big question. Because there's not much left. There is not much left of this fight. Knowing the movie as much as I do, there's not much left for this fight, so let's hope they wrap it up quickly. But let's go ahead and begin, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another Dragon Ball Super chapter reaction and review. It is the 100th chapter of Dragon Ball Super. And it looks like we're coming in on the tail end of the superhero arc. Now, I know it looks a little bit dark. It looks a little bit dark because it's starting to get a little bit darker outside. Hopefully that made a little bit of a difference. It looks a little bit dark. I tried to adjust my brightness. I don't want to bump up the exposure because it's just going to make everything incredibly overbright. So that'll just be on just to compensate for a little bit of the extra light. But last we left off, everyone was fighting Cell Max, while Gohan revealed a brand new form as he prepares to unleash a special attack that looks like it's going to be the big attack that eradicates Cell Max. So let's begin with chapter 100, and we have Gohan charging up power all the way in his arm, like all the way in his hand as he goes, Light of Death! And more power gets charged up as we get a beautiful cover page, a colored cover page of Gohan unleashing this blast towards Cell Max in this like collage of images, but it's not the actual manga pages themselves. This is just this color page titled Chapter 100. Burst forth, Light of Death. And this is the first time I've read a Dragon Ball Super chapter, and some of the panels were actually in color. But we get the blast shooting forwards because last we remember, Cell Max was trying to charge up another beam, another death ball to try and kill everybody with. But Piccolo is wrapped around him in order to keep him from moving. And as this beam from Gohan starts spiraling and circling and aiming towards Cell Max tries to throw his ball at it, and it looks like they're about to collide, and they have a beam clash. Beam clash is making me think of Sparking Zero. It has a beam clash, and it hits each other, and then there's just a big old light in the sky to the point where everyone has to cover their eyes. Yeah! And it shows Cell Max trying to push his death ball towards Gohan, but they're in a bit of a standstill. And then Gamma 1 goes, push! And and Gohan is still shooting the beam forward, and we got two individuals who fly right behind Cell Max, and it's Trunks and Goten. And they kick the hand. It's Trunks and Goten. Their fusion has worn off. Has it really been like 30 minutes? Has that much time passed already? But they come flying in. Yeah! As both Trunks and Goten hit the hand of Cell Max. And Krillin's surprised. The boys? Their fusion wore off. And then Gohan screams, as he puts even more power into this beam, and the beam starts to pierce through Cell Max's death ball. And then it comes out of the death ball, and Piccolo holds Cell Max's head forward as the beam hits him direct, dead center in the head. And Piccolo just holds his head there until the beam goes straight through Cell Max. It just goes straight through his skull. In a very big double spread panel here. And it continues to go straight through the headpiece of Cell Max. it goes through the headpiece of Cell Max, and you can see the beam shooting all the way into space. And you have Cell Max as the energy is rushing from his head because that was his big weak point. That was his big weak point, and now the whole thing has just been bored through. And he's just has his and Piccolo's those are Piccolo's hands. Yeah, those are Piccolo's hands as he lets go, and Cell Max is all like and starts falling towards the remains of the Red Ribbon Army base. And then it shows Orange Piccolo and Gohan in this new form.
They did it! It's over!
And then Gamma 1 is flying. He's gonna blow! Get moving! As it shows Cell Max's body bulging as it starts to inflate. Kind of akin to what Cell was about to do when he found out he was losing during the Cell games. And his body starts to inflate bigger and bigger, much to the shock of everyone.
Well, crap!
As Trunks and Goten prepare to go, but Piccolo in his bigger form grabs both of them, and everyone starts flying at high speeds away from Cell Max as he explodes. And his explosion is the entire circumference of the giant mountain crater that the Red Ribbon Army has been hiding inside. The entire it takes up the entire mountain, like the whole space. And all we see is light as everyone is flying away from it. Krillin, 18, Gamma 1, Piccolo, Gohan, Bulma, and Pan inside of the capsule ship. They're all flying away, and then the smoke dissipates. And then Bulma.
Good thing we didn't stick around. The big monster's gone. I hope everyone's okay.
And then it zooms in on 18 and Krillin. Krillin being, halfway waist deep, upside down in some dirt, and Krillin and 18 just pulls him out. Good, she's a good wife. And then we have Pan.
I take it they're just fine.
And then it shows Gamma 1, who also covered Gamma 2, and Dr. Hedo. And Dr. Hedo gets up and he sees that Gamma 2 has been messed up, and he gives a distraught look. And then it shows the Capsule Corps ship landing, Pan running out, looking around for everyone, and we see two images in the smoke. It's like Big Piccolo standing right next to Gohan, and Pan starts running over to them as Piccolo shrinks back to normal size, and it shows Gohan still in his new transformation, along with Piccolo in his orange form, and this surprises Pan. And both of them are looking back at looking at themselves, and they turn back into their regular states. Piccolo, green, Gohan, normal state. And then Pan immediately runs over and tackles her dad. Then we have Gamma 2. Then we have Dr. Hedo going,
Gamma number 2.
And Piccolo looks over, and it's like, and Dr. Hedo's looking at Gamma 2, because Gamma 2 gave it his all in order for this fight to prevail in this moment. If it wasn't for Gamma 2, we wouldn't have that one weak point getting damaged on Cell Max. So if it wasn't for Gamma 2, we would not be where we are right now. And Piccolo is looking at him, along with Gohan and Pan. We never could have beaten that beast without their help. Heck, I wonder if even Dad and Vegeta could have taken down that monstrous version of Cell. This is why I said you can't afford to get rusty, even during seemingly peaceful times. Right. Sorry. And what, may I ask, was that final attack? It was supposed to be a light of death. You call that a light of death? A poor imitation, I guess. And then Piccolo just turns around like he's just offended, and then he turns back and goes, It was brilliant. Because the beam itself was essentially Gohan's version of a special beam cannon, except with Gohan's power, and a lot stronger than special beam cannon. This is Gohan, a person who has more potential to be stronger than Goku, and he made his own special beam cannon that killed a ginormous version of Cell, and the beam went all the way into space. But then we see Dr. Hedo and Gamma 1 over Gamma 2, and Gamma 2 just starts disintegrating, just right then and there. Even his hand that's being held by Dr. Hedo, that disintegrates, and he just turns into particles that just flow into the wind. The only thing being left is his cape. So he's gone? Yes, despite your best efforts to save him. What exactly did he do back there? That was all of his energy, unleashed in one massive burst. Well, it paid off. That weakened the monster. He really was a superhero. You lot too.
Thank you. Your efforts have saved the world.
And it shows Piccolo and company standing in like this superhero V. You know the pose where the two big heavy hitters are at the front, and then everyone starts to trail behind them in like a angle shape. Everyone's standing there. Pan, Bulma, 18, Krillin, Piccolo, Gohan, Trunks, Goten.
It's all my fault. I created Cell Max, and Gamma number 2 paid the price for my folly. I mean, they exploited you too.
And this is Krillin.
You didn't seem like a total villain before joining up with the Red Ribbon Army. No, I should have known better. I did know better. But the allure of research funds was too great. You've even given androids a bad name, pal.
You know, with 18 being an android, she's right. She has a right to be offended.
Honestly, it's a wonder that you survived all this.
And this is Bulma.
Right. You see, I've modified my skin, making it resilient against impact. Your actual skin? Yeesh, that makes my own skin crawl.
Like you didn't have your crow's feet removed?
Say something to say, Trunks!
And Trunks immediately hides behind Goten. Because, Bulma's been using the Dragon Balls to wish for herself to always remain young and remove any wrinkles on her face.
Oh, and Goten, don't tell your mom about all this. She'll tear me apart if she finds out I dragged you into a big battle.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Dr. Hedo, right? What's your next move? I'll turn myself and Gamma 1 into the authorities.
And Krillin.
I know the whole point of this investigation was to arrest you, but I'm having second thoughts at this point.
Why don't we call it water under the bridge? You're not exactly do-gooders, but you're not evildoers either. And Krillin just nods as both Gamma 1 and Dr. Hedo are speechless.
In that case, would Capsule Corporation be willing to hire Gamma and me?
Much to the surprise of 18, Krillin, and Bulma.
Are you for real? How hardy freaking har.
And
you're in no place to be asking favors.
And this is 18. She's kind of livid.
Do you know anything about beauty treatments?
Now, here's the thing. Here on this panel, it says, do know anything about beauty treatments instead of do you know anything. So maybe that's something they missed out on.
Do you know anything about beauty treatments? Beauty, ma'am?
As she starts talking to Dr. Hedo.
Like making skin look younger? Naturally, I'm well versed in biology, and I do have a license to practice medicine, so that much would be easy. Sure. Still, your talents are of real interest to my company and to me personally. Plus, you come with one heck of a bodyguard.
And Gamma 1 is all like, huh? Me?
And I can't have you out there concocting another dastardly plot. No, of course not. I've given that up. Any thoughts, Piccolo?
I'm not opposed. Better to use them than the Dragon Balls for your whims, Bulma.
That's enough out of you! Then it's settled. You're hired. Thank you.
And he immediately bows to Bulma.
Hey, be grateful, you.
Thank you. And then Pan starts poking Piccolo.
Hee hee.
Huh? As Pan starts focusing, like the first time we seen her, she starts focusing. And then slowly energy swirls around her. And then she starts to raise up off the ground. Like, I tried to make it seamless, but it didn't work. In an office chair, and you gotta slide back, and you gotta raise in place. But she raises up off the ground, and she finally flies. Oh! Much to the surprise of Piccolo and the surprise of Gohan.
Check me out!
And she's just flying around in the air while Dr. Hedo and Gamma 1 look on. Krillin, 18, Bulma, Goten, Trunks. We'll have to move on to the next phase of your training tomorrow.
Okay!
And then she just keeps flying higher and higher, with Gohan going, whoa there, don't fly quite so high, honey!
Okay, Daddy!
And after that, we have Carmine, who's being let out by other members of the Red Ribbon Army. You hanging in there, Carmine, sir? Yes. Darn it all. The commander's dead. Our base lies in ruins. What's the plan now, sir? First things first. We return to Red Pharmaceuticals HQ. Finally! It feels like forever. It feels like forever since we seen Beerus's planet. And you know who's on this planet! Because we see Beerus's planet, tons of places have been completely cratered as we see Goku and Vegeta. And they're still fighting each other, but they are they're incredibly tired. They are incredibly tired. And barely able to stand. They are barely able to stand, yet their blows still hit hard. Their clothes are in tatters. Like, Vegeta's entire suit, like his knee, anything from his thighs down is completely destroyed. Like, near his knees is just destroyed. His whole clothes is just messed up. And they just keep fighting each other. But they have no energy left, with Goku going, how are you still on your feet? Likewise. Drop to the ground already. One last clash to decide it all. And they start slowly walking towards one another. And their fists don't even really make it to one another. All it shows is that Vegeta just moves out of the way as Gohan's trying to punch him slowly. Vegeta manages to just lightly tap Goku on the chest. And Goku falls backwards. And Goku is just beyond tired as he goes, I lost! And then we have Whis playing with Chi-Lai. Oh, is that so? And he puts the cards together. I declare Vegeta the winner, as it shows Chi-Lai bowing to Whis and Beerus sleeping as always. Then we get Vegeta. I've done it. At long last. I bested Kakarot! And then he just falls on his back. He just falls on his back. Because he tied too. They've been fighting this whole time. And then Chi-Lai just sits down in a chair going, they're finally done? Great. What a couple of numbskulls. Don't you agree, Broly? And then Broly and I forgot his name, the other guy that's with Chi-Lai all the time. They're both crying their eyes out. Ah, that's meant for you. Ridiculous. As it shows Whis' staff. It shows Whis' staff blinking behind a tree. Because remember, his staff got knocked away in the much earlier chapters, and he had no idea what was going on Earth at the time, including the whole situation with Cell Max. The whole thing he doesn't know. I suppose I should repair the ravaged landscape. Oops. Now, where did I leave that thing? Ah, there you are, as he walks over to his staff that's been ringing the whole time. And then it cuts to Capsule Corps, the Capsule Corps ship, as everyone is tired and chilling, as Bulma's flying everyone back to the mainland. And then we get Gohan. I hadn't realized Pan's been growing so much. Maybe I shouldn't keep my nose to the grindstone quite so much. You don't say. Yeah, I should take Pan out and about, like to the amusement park. And then the transponder that Whis gave to Bulma starts ringing as he goes, Did you need something, Bulma? You took your sweet time, Whis. Indeed. Apologies for the delay. Were you reaching out about some delicacy by chance?
Sure, let's go with that. But the food's gone cold, so you'll have to wait until next time. Bye-bye!
And Bulma just hangs up, with Whis going, my, what could that have been about? To be continued. Ladies and gentlemen, we're done. We are done with Dragon Ball Superhero! Finally! It feels so good to be done with this arc. Now, you all know my stance on this. You all know my stance on the Dragon Ball superhero arc, the superhero movie being turned into a full-on arc, where we didn't get an arc dedicated to Broly or to Resurrection of F. So I'm happy that we finally get to move on past the movie, and we get to see what the future for Dragon Ball has in store. One thing to make note of in this chapter is 1, Cell Max is completely defeated. 2, Gohan has a brand new transformation. 3, the arc is over. And 4, Vegeta beat Goku. So those are all the big focal points for this entire chapter, and I'm happy. Knowing that we are finally done with this movie turned full-fledged arc, knowing that we're done with it, we can move on to the future of Dragon Ball. Will we start focusing on what Frieza's doing? Because Frieza's pretty much the big bad. I mean, Black Frieza and how powerful he was, Goku and Vegeta better have learned some brand new moves during this big old time skip that we've just gone through. But it's such a relief. Can I say that? The 100th chapter of Dragon Ball Super, and we end the Dragon Ball superhero arc. We end it with the superhero movie arc. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And this is the last chapter we get of Dragon Ball this year. The next one is going to be in January. So for us to end Dragon Ball this year, Dragon Ball Super this year, with the end of the superhero movie arc, the defeat of Cell Max, we are never going back. We don't have to worry about it. I'm happy. And I'm looking forward to what else Dragon Ball has to offer. I pretty much said something similar to when I was reading One Punch Man earlier on. But this has been a fantastic year for manga. Can I say that? It's been a fantastic year. I'm just so glad that we're done with the superhero arc for Dragon Ball Super. I'm so glad. Now it just makes me wonder, where are we going to go from here? Who's the next big bad going to be? If it's not Frieza, then who? I mean, with all this training that Goku and Vegeta have done, I'm pretty sure there's no threats that are going to be able to match up to them except for Frieza right now. Because we've already been through Moro, we've already been through Gas. We already been through Moro, we've been through Gas, we already seen the Tournament of Power, and now we're done with Cell Max, and Gohan and Piccolo getting brand new forms and new attacks and such. I cannot wait to see what the future of Dragon Ball has in store. But I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. This was a fantastic read because the superhero movie arc is over! I'm so happy. But you guys let me know what you thought of this chapter if you read it as a whole, and what you think of Dragon Ball Super as a whole, and what did you think of it this year. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, subscribe, even become a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples!